And his guests, Frank Delastrito, maybe Johnny Byers.
And co-host.
Lisa Cavanaugh, co-host. And our guest, Frank Imbergamo.
How are you, Joe?
Hello, Frank. I'm wearing Frank's
Nice
glasses.
to meet you,
Nice to
Frank.
meet
Welcome
you.
to the show.
These are Frankie's
Nice meeting you.
glasses.
Thrilled to have you.
It's a pleasure being here. It's a lot of fun.
So, everyone, welcome Winchester, and that was our disclaimer. Lisa, Frank just shot with Denzel Washington up north a bit.
Yes.
Yes,
what week?
I've heard.
Yeah,
How long ago was this?
About 2 weeks ago, I shot a film called The Equalizer with Denzel Washington, and it was in a Home Depot type atmosphere. I played a homeowner, buying things for the house, things like that.
Yeah.
That was a couple of days shoot there. It was good, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now, Denzel just did Flight.
Yeah.
I interviewed Robert Zemeckis,
Okay.
the director of
Oh.
Flight.
Right.
He
that
was
was fun.
nominated for an Academy Award for that.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yes.
Yeah, he was.
And you know, he used Jimmy Miller in the soundtrack. He has 3 Jimmy Miller songs in the soundtrack, Traffic
Yeah.
and Two Stones.
Yes.
So that's our friend Jimmy is how we met.
Fantastic. Wow.
Yes.
In
Jimmy
86.
Miller from the Rolling Stones is how, the producer of the Rolling Stones is how we met in 1986. Isn't that strange?
It's almost 30 years
A
ago.
long time ago. That's all right.
We've only had 4 or 5 knockdown dragouts but it was in a boxing ring.
Yes.
And it was for a TV show.
Yes.
That's all right. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, in that many years. I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So Lisa did filming in LA. Do you do mostly Boston? Or
I do mostly New England. In New York City, I was on the Food Network with Emerald. I won a cooking contest. So,
Oh, I heard that.
so
That's
I,
awesome.
So I did that in 2005, and I wrote a cookbook, and one of my recipes was selected from Emerald.
So for our viewers,
Great.
Frank wrote a cookbook, but they have him do cooking on camera on film.
Exactly.
And
That's great.
you know, Jeremy
Do you have the
Renner.
book with you?
Yeah, I cooked with Emerald. Yeah, they
Jeremy
came to-
Renner is awesome.
Jerry Renner is a great guy. I just did a movie with him. 2 months ago, we did a movie called American Hustle. It's a David O. Russell film.
Oh, it's not out yet.
No, we just
Oh, wow.
filmed it, and when Jerry Renner's in it, and
Oh, wow.
I played a waiter, and I served them all the stars the food. Jeremy Renner, Christian Bale, Jennifer Lawrence. They were in an Italian
All my
restaurant.
favors.
Yeah, and I served them the
Yes.
chicken piccata. And I
I'm
say, "Hey,
jealous.
Manja,
I
eat."
never get jealous.
Yeah,
I'm
mine
jealous,
to
Frank.
eat.
It was a lot of fun.
That must have been. Now,
was
what
nice.
was
It
your
was-
recipe?
It was a small speaking role. No, it was their recipe. It was part of the movie, but that was part of the script.
Yeah.
It was a small speaking role. It was good. It was a lot of fun. We did that out in the Worcester, in an Italian restaurant. It was supposed to be New Jersey, because Jeremy Renner plays the mayor of New Jersey in this film.
The what? The mayor of New Jersey?
Yes, he plays the mayor of New Jersey.
But he comes up to Worcester.
His name is Carmen. So it's a good movie. There's all good. Bradley Cooper's in it. Amy Adams.
Oh my God.
Oh, that would be great.
It's a really going to be a great,
American
great movie.
Hustler.
Well, last
No
week-
relation to American Gangster.
No.
No. Last week I was saying how I had taken a long break, and it's nice to know that coming back in, there really is a big change from 8 years ago.
Yes, there's
From
much
what
change.
you're saying, there seems
Yes.
like there's a lot more work, so I'm very excited
Yeah.
about going back into the industry.
Yeah, that's
Well, I think the film office has changed,
yeah,
right? The Boston
exactly.
Film Office?
Yeah,
Yes,
they're-
a lot.
Yeah, well, they're opening up a studio, a Hollywood studio in Ayer, Massachusetts, Fort Devens.
I thought Bedford.
We interviewed
No?
him. Jeff brought him in.
Yeah.
Very
they-
nice man.
And so
New England Film Studios.
yeah, so that'll bring in a lot more movies as well. So we're having 3 more movies come the next 3 months. We're having Cameron Diaz, John Travolta, and there's a couple of other actors. I think De Niro wants to do a movie here. So
Cameron Diaz, wasn't she in Her Shoes?
yes, she
Something about Mary,
something about Mary and
which was shot in Boston and
Night,
Rhode
Night,
Island.
Night and Day with Tom Cruise 2 years ago. I was in
Charlie's
that. I played a
Angels.
small part in that myself.
We had the author Jennifer Weiner on
Yeah.
in Medford. And 3 years after we had her on in October 2002, In Her Shoes came out with Cameron Diaz, the movie.
Yeah, that was a good movie. Yeah,
It was a great movie, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
she's-
interesting to have the authors in and then the movie develops
yeah,
after.
it was a good movie.
She did, and I mean, seriously, she should have been nominated. This great film with Anne Paquin, where her daughter, I can't remember the name of it, her daughter's dying of cancer. My Sister's Keeper.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, right.
And I thought she was brilliant in it, and she didn't even so much as get a,
She played another movie in Boston called The Box, right?
the box.
Yeah, that was down in.
I just think she's such a fine
no,
actress.
she did.
I
Night-
do
she
too.
did Night and Day. You know about that one, right?
Yeah, with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, with Tom Cruise, and that was a good movie.
You know, the mistake people make when they see a blonde, they don't think they can act. Cameron's a great example of a blonde that can
Yeah,
act.
she's a good actress.
Yes.
Can
And
you
I'm a
act?
I didn't get in the actor's studio because I can't act. They don't let you in there, especially when I went, if you can't act. It just
can
doesn't
act.
happen.
They're doing a good job.
FrankImbergamo.com is his .com if you want to see his resume on web. Frank, IMBERGAMO.
That's correct.
.com.
Yes.
And the cookbook and stuff people can
Yeah,
read.
everything is on. On my website, you can find the cooking, the video cooking. I have some video.
Oh, so you show videos of how you cook.
Yeah, I do. What I do is like once every couple of months, I do a cooking video, and then I write a column for the Medford Transcript. I have a column called Cooking with Frankie, and then I write a story about that recipe that was filmed. And they film me
Oh.
live in my kitchen, and I tell a story about that recipe.
Now, is that in the
That's
print edition or
great.
online?
That's great.
It's online. It's wickedlocalmedford.com or the medfordtranscript.com. And you can just key in Cooking with Frankie or Frank Imbergamo.
So what kind of things do you cook?
Well, my cookbook's an Italian cookbook, and mostly
Well, I
Italian
mean,
American.
What lasagna,
Lasagna,
meatballs,
chicken parm, meatballs,
piccata.
homemade soups, piccata, masala, all that. Yeah, I make it all.
Now,
Maybe you'll cook for us one show. Wouldn't that be
Pizzas.
great?
you know we have an in-house cook. You know Sean, the guy that's helping us
Yeah,
out?
I just found that out earlier.
Sean O'Brien's a cook.
Yeah, Jeff
Yeah.
told me. Yeah.
So when we had our little party out here, he did the barbecue. It was amazing. So Sean O'Brien, you guys can compare notes after the show.
Yeah, right. It'll be nice. Yeah, and I wanted to tell you, I'm in an independent film. It's a big independent film that's in post-production right now. It's called DJ Stand the Man. I play a photographer, and it's written by Matthew Fisher, and he wrote it and directed it. And Chase Carson plays the DJ.
So where's Matthew? Out of Boston?
He's out of Hanover, Mass.
You can bring him on the show some week.
Yeah.
You know, when the movie's ready to come out, we have all sorts of directors on.
And then my webisode series, Pizza Makers. You know about that, right?
No.
Well, Pizza Makers is a webisode series that we've done. We've done 6 episodes, and it's written, directed, and he also acts as Chris Palermo. Did a fantastic job on these episodes. We're filming episode 7 next month, and we've been in a lot of magazines and a lot of media. We were in the inside track of the Herald a month ago. A big story about pizza makers, and it's getting very popular. And we might be going to Comedy Central.
That'd be awesome.
We're doing so. You can go to if you just key in pizzamakers.com. It's PIZZER makers, all one word. Pizza Makers, and it's based on these 2 guys. It's called Frank and Lou's Pizza Palace.
Frank and
Lou. It's Pizza Palace, and it's based on Chris Palermo's family business when he was a kid growing up in the pizza business. And what happens, different scenarios happen in the pizza place. We fight with the customers, we fight with each other. It's comedy, and it's really, really nice. It
sounds a sitcom?
Yes, it's a sitcom.
Sounds like a great
And you go to
sitcom.
youtube.com/Pizza Makers, all one word, and you can see all the episodes.
PIZZER.
E-R.
Pizzer.
Pizzer, yeah.
Pizzer makers. I'm going to ask Lisa to ask you some questions about Ted and some of the other movies. But I have a question about the internet. You know, we have these public access stations, and what the rumor is at board meetings now is that the internet is going to take over television. So like Comcast, Verizon, RCN, the whole thing will be broadcast from the web. Do you think that it's
Exactly.
going there?
I think so, yeah.
I hope so.
I think it is. I think social media is more in the internet now than more than magazines and newspapers. Is
All right, so
starting to
let's say
slow down.
Pizza Maker gets picked up by Netflix.
Right.
Sake of
Yeah,
argument.
plus, yeah.
And then you're going to have a corner on your TV where there's going to be comments.
I would believe so, yeah. Instead of going to get Netflix and go renting it, you can just probably get it on TV.
No, but what I'm saying is comments
yeah.
to your show, live comments people could watch.
Yes.
Because, you know, Ariana
As
Huffington.
it's going, they're
Yeah, I
coming
think
up.
I think
That'd
you're right,
be
yeah,
great,
yeah.
Yes.
Ariana Huffington's genius was that
Yes.
she made the Huffington Post very comment friendly,
Yeah.
where they have 350 million commenters.
Wow.
I'm a super user on the Huffington Post.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
But that's how she sold the thing for 300 mil.
Good
Yeah,
for
but in the
her.
future, I think you're right. I think it's going to go that way, yeah.
So, you know, if they did this with the Huffington Post on the web and they want eyeballs, they'll have people commenting on your shows, which I don't know if it takes away from the show. I want to watch Lisa act.
Yeah, I see.
I want to watch you act.
No, I know, yeah, right.
And if they're watching themselves type,
Yeah, exactly.
They're
How they're
interactive.
watching the show, and
I know
that's
what
the
you're saying.
only thing I see is a downfall to all of that. Is how can they watch the show and type at the same
Yeah,
time?
well, they have the internet hooked up to their big screen TV.
I have a big screen
And then
computer,
and then
so.
you just, everything is be on the remote, you know?
So then they can put themselves in your movie,
Yeah.
but there will be shows that will have to be non-interactive because you want
Oh,
to have people
absolutely.
focus.
You still want to relax and watch a movie,
Thank
put a
you.
DVD in.
Oh,
and I
of
think,
course,
like,
watch a show,
I still think
laugh.
that's very important and it's more enjoyable too. I mean, sitting at a computer and watching it's uncomfortable, but you can sit in your couch or your chair and watch a nice movie, which is, I think, is better.
What the public viewing us don't realize is these lights are, when I walk out of here, I'm fuzzy. If I
Yeah.
do 2 or 3 shows in a row, no.
They're very bright. They're
If I
very
do 3
bright. A lot of
hours,
people
forget
don't
it.
realize
Yeah.
these are very, very, very bright lights.
So I want to go
Process.
home and just watch Lisa on TV.
Right.
Law and Order
Oh, right,
SVU.
I don't-
Yes.
That's a great idea. I think I'll do the same.
Can I say that you did Candid Camera? Is that all right?
Yes, because what a lot of people don't know is in Hollywood, in fact, I brought all my tapes. So one day we'll have to take a look at quite a few of them.
We can.
I did Divorce Course before it was a reality show. I was a guest star.
That's
I did The
fantastic.
Bold and the Beautiful. I did 2 leads in films. I did, and this is in LA. And this is where the toughest of the
Yeah,
toughest
right,
only,
right.
you know, do well. I did Taco Bell commercials, Nexus hair commercials, and Candid Camera, when they can't find actors, when they can't find people to like set up,
Right.
they'll actually hire actors to go in and be funny.
Oh, wow.
And if you ever see my episode of Candid Camera, it was shown on planes for I don't you saw it.
The poolside thing?
Yeah, no. Yes, with the suntan lotion.
Yeah,
That's
I
fantastic.
remember.
It's
That's
really,
great.
really funny.
I'd like
And it
to
was
see it
on
sometime,
planes
yeah.
forever. And
That's nice.
and they actually I was not like it wasn't like I was being surprised. It was I really shouldn't, it's a trade secret, I'm giving it away. But they actually hire actors to
That's
do
good.
it.
That's good.
Now you're both part of SAG.
Yes.
Yes, and they've merged
Yeah.
and it
Merged
seems
with-
simpler. What do you think?
Well, it's called SAG-AFTRA now. Before it was-
AFTRA and, okay.
It's called SAG-AFTRA, all one word. And it used to be AFTRA, and then it used to be SAG. Now it's SAG-AFTRA.
See, AFTRA was American Federation of Radio and Television Artists, and what it covered was basically was people, as you'll tell you,
Mostly media.
people on the radio, people on soap operas,
on the
people that
news.
worked on sets, people on news.
News people, yeah.
Anybody in SAG was if you were on a location.
Right.
Whether it was a TV show or a film, that was Screen Actors Guild.
SVU.
And then now SVU, Divorce Court. I did not necessarily the news. Actually, not necessarily the news. Was on a set that was AFTRA.
That's how I got SAG. I was in AFTRA first, and then they merged because I did TV, and so I didn't have to join 2 unions. I just slid right in from AFTRA right into SAG.
Oh, I had the catch-22.
Yeah,
They had
so
to pay a big fine to get me into SAG.
There was a few people like that. Yeah.
Well, back in the day, you couldn't get into SAG unless you had a speaking part, but you couldn't get a speaking part unless you were in SAG.
Right.
So you had to literally have a director pay a fine. And I'm talking in the 80s. Sometimes it was $1,000, $2,000,
Yeah.
and not necessarily the news needed somebody who looked 17, and I was
Right.
18 at the time. And they needed somebody that looked really young, and that's how I got it. And they paid the fine,
Right.
and that's how I got in the union.
Yeah.
But I mean, today's much easier.
Well, today you have to get 3 waivers. But
That's-
they
I
don't-
think that's not fair
You have to get
myself.
3 waivers. Into
what's a waiver?
A waiver is a voucher.
For extra work, and I think
See,
that's
in a
wrong.
movie set, on a movie set, they have to have so much percentage.
Excuse me?
Too much static on the stack.
On static on what?
The lav mics.
Channel 7? Number 7?
It's just you dropped the lav mics in.
I just did.
That's Jeff Dearman, the dancing usher, our director. I let him come in
I just
because we
dropped-
have a very laid-back show. I like it that way. So is the static okay, Jeff? Thumbs up? All right.
We good on static?
Yep. So Lisa and I were in L.A. and we were cavorting there with Jojo Lane and Jimmy Miller, the Stones producer, and this was way back in '86.
That's fantastic.
We were at the
I was
Chateau
blessed.
Marmont.
Oh, God,
that's
yeah.
great.
It was fun.
To go back in a time machine, we had so much fun those 10 days.
Oh, my God, it was completely insane. They were
That was
insane. We
beautiful.
were insane.
I had my own suite where I had like papers everywhere because we had record company meetings. So we had the music buddy
Right.
guy we were working with,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
a British band called the Manish Boys that Jojo was managing. So Jimmy and I were doing our shopping. But you'd have, what's the plane boss, what's his name there?
Oh, Tattoo. Fantasy Island.
Yeah,
Yeah, he died too, the other guy.
yeah, he
Did
did.
he really?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and what's his name? Karl Motterbaum, he died.
Oh, What
Oh,
an
well,
actor.
I figured by now he would have.
Yeah.
What an actor.
Yeah, he was a good actor.